places you can never go, but I can, but I can.
Okay, I am in the car again because I'm always in the car, but I wanted to do my 1-day DPO update. So I'm not symptom spotting, but I did want to still document like what I'm experiencing, what I'm feeling. I think a lot of it is just side effects from the trigger shot, honestly, but I still wanted to just like document it because it'll be nice to reflect on later, like whether or not this time is positive. Whenever I ever try again for like a sibling or something, it'd be nice to like compare what I was feeling going through this time around. So like I'm just gonna document the things that I felt today. I have basically logic and reasoning for all of it, so I don't necessarily think that any of it is, oh, this is for sure a sign, especially because it's one DPO. Like my body wouldn't know anything different anyway right now. But that being said, again, I do think a lot of it is just residual side effects from the trigger shot. So like my periods are really painful on the day that they start, but like a few days before my period, I'll start getting like the warning signs. So like I'll start getting this like rumbling in my stomach, but it's not like it's probably like in my uterus. Like it's not my stomach. It's not like my stomach growling or like a pain in my stomach, but like in that general area, like there'll be like a rumbling there, like kind of almost gassy, not really gassy, but like if you have that feeling, you probably know what I'm talking about. But like I'll have that a lot. I've had that consistently since yesterday. So yesterday was my IUI. I've had that grumbling consistently since like yesterday evening, but I still think that's just part of the trigger, the ache of that trigger shot. So like I mentioned in my last video that the trigger shot had given me like achiness in my ovaries, like just like an ache, like kind of like the day after ab day. That is minorly there. It's still like minorly there. It's not as significant as Tuesday or Wednesday at all. Like it is very faint now, and I kind of only really notice it if like I put any kind of pressure on my stomach, which I've been trying to avoid anyway, but like sometimes my cat is trying to like climb on me and step on my stomach, and like that is enough to me like knee jerk shove him off because I'm like, ow, that hurts. It's still minorly there, not anything crazy. I did have today I was off of work. I was just kind of really lazy today. Like I was on the couch just chilling. Like I'm on my way to my company holiday party. I was kind of in that like ADHD, executive dysfunction. I've got something at 5 p.m. today, so therefore I need to not do anything all day. I was kind of in one of those modes. But like while I was sitting on the couch and just like I was watching my YouTube videos and talking to friends and on social media and all that, and like I was on the couch and I'm like, I could take a nap right now, which is like unusual for me. I'm not usually just like exhausted during the day, especially not when I'm not doing anything. Like I normally would have been up, and I slept in this morning. I slept in till like 9:30, 10 o'clock, which I'm normally up at 8. So like I slept in this morning. I had no reason to be tired. It was like around noon, 1 o'clock that I was like, I could fall asleep on this couch right now. So like that's a thing that I did experience. I woke up with a headache, like a very minor headache. I did wake up with one. That went away after I ate, and I did eat. I had oatmeal for breakfast, probably around like 10, 11. I'm just trying to do like the traditional Chinese medicine, stay warm, only warm foods. And I have noticed like I am also someone who I don't like things on my feet. I don't like socks. I just want to be walking around barefoot all the time. I've had socks on nonstop since yesterday just to keep my feet warm. And I swear it's not warm enough. Like I swear I'll be like sweating the rest of my body, but my feet still feel cold. So like I've been doubling up. I have my regular socks and then I have like fuzzy socks over the top of them because like I tried just the regular socks, feet were cold. I tried just the fuzzy socks, feet were cold. So then I just doubled up on them, and I'm like, this is insane. Like I was just in my bed and I was like, my feet feel cold. And then I'm like in my head and I'm like, I'm not staying warm. My room's not warm because my feet are cold. And that was definitely a nice little like, I'm probably just overthinking it. Like my feet are probably always like that, and I just don't notice it because I'm not paying attention to it. So like I'm also trying not to be too crazy about that. I'm like, if the rest of my body is warm, like my feet are just, it's psychological. Like I know the rest of my body is warm. Like I'm over here like trying to peel off blankets. Like, but I've also been like, that's normal for me right now in Florida. The weather's been fluctuating. Like it was 40 when I left for my appointment yesterday, and right now it's 74. So like it's been a battle to keep my apartment where I'm usually comfortable with it anyway, which is right at 74. I've been switching back and forth between heat and AC to keep it at 74 nonstop for the past like week, really, not just for my own comfort in my apartment. I like it just cold enough where I can have the blankets on. And normally 74 is just cold enough where I can have the blankets on. I'm not hot, I'm not sweating or anything. But like the past 2 days, I've been like under my blankets and I'm like, I am warm. I am too warm. And so it's just been that back and forth. The only other thing I've been experiencing is constipation. I do have a little bit of constipation. That's not terribly out of normal for me, but like that's usually related to my diet. It's usually I know that I just ate something that's going to cause it, but there's been nothing in my diet recently that would cause it. So like that's another thing where it's like I'm not symptom spotting. That's obviously not related to, I don't think that's related to like possible pregnancy. That might be like a side effect of the trigger shot, possibly. Another side effect of the trigger shot I'm imagining would be that I have not stopped peeing in like 3 days, and I know that one's from the trigger shot because that started when I did the trigger. That was all through Tuesday, like before we even did the IUI. Like the trigger shot was just, I don't know what it's doing, but I have not stopped peeing. Like it's been insane. So yeah, that is my 1 day update. I don't know how many updates I'll have over the next few days because again, it's too early to really tell, but I do want to sort of like test out the trigger. Like I want to test out what symptoms are from the trigger, what gets lighter over the next few days, and then what comes to replace it. Hopefully comes to replace it in the few days after. So like that's kind of what we're doing there. It's dark because I don't have the lights on because it's getting late. Hi Keech. I just forgot to do like a 2 DPO update. Not really too much. Like I'm pretty sure everything that I'm feeling is just because my body isn't used to all of the medications that we're on right now. When I first woke up, I had some more of that like cramping in my ovary area. That's gone now, but that was there when I first woke up. And then I just, all throughout the day, I just kind of felt like ick. Like I felt like how I feel when my period's starting, which like we are way too early in the phase for me to start feeling that. Like I'm feeling like my PMS symptoms, but I wouldn't normally feel those until at least next week. Like I'm crampy. I have just this ache, this ick, I was like sitting at my desk and I was just like, I don't like feeling like this, but it's like, it's exactly the way I feel when it's like the week before my period's supposed to start, which we are 2 weeks before my period's supposed to start. So it's way too early for that. But like, I'm positive it's just because my body's not used to the meds. They're not used to the trigger shot that we did on Monday. It's not used to the progesterone that we started last night. So I feel like your body naturally produces progesterone each cycle, but now that I'm doing the suppositories, like I'm doing more. So maybe that's just like heightening the effects because my body's not used to like that level of progesterone. But like, I have a note and I literally had on my note and I was like, I just don't feel good today. Like it's nothing that I can't work through. I can't power through, but it's like noticeably there. Like even right now, I feel like very crampy, like very much like my period's about to start when it's 2 weeks too early. So like, I know that's all related to the meds. I know that's not like a pregnancy symptom. But I still just wanted to document it. I did have another one of those very mild, ignorable headaches today. I was still feeling a lot of that exhaustion. So like around 3 p.m. I'm sitting there at work and I'm like, I could take a nap right now. It's like 9 p.m. right now. And all I have on is the Christmas tree. I like just sitting here with the Christmas tree on. So that's why there's no lights on. Even like right now, I'm like, I could realistically go into bed right now and I'd be totally fine. Like I'm not going to do that because then I'll wake up at 3 a.m. and be like, what the hell? But like right now, I'm just like, I could sleep. How I mentioned that I'm trying to do the traditional Chinese medicine kind of method of just stay warm, keep the womb warm. But like I mentioned it in yesterday's video, my feet right now just feel constantly cold. Like I have socks on. I've had socks on all week. I have not taken my socks off all week. Like, and my feet are still cold. Like I constantly have to double up on the socks or make sure that they're covered in a blanket because they're still cold with the socks on in the same temperature that I'm usually living in without socks. So it's like, I don't know what that is. I don't know if that has to do with hormones or what, but like my feet are constantly cold. Yeah, I'm still positive since it's only 2 DPO. Like, none of this is pregnancy symptoms. Realistically, if assuming that the egg was fertilized, of course, what did I say when I record? The dogs are gonna start playing with toys. So that's what happened. Assuming that the egg was fertilized at my IUI on Wednesday, 2 DPO, it is still somewhere in the fallopian tubes on its way down. So like I'm not pregnant yet. I could be on my way to being pregnant, but I'm not there yet, so there aren't any symptoms. I do really feel like this is all just a side effect of the meds. It's just the side effect of either the trigger shot. I don't know if it's still the trigger shot or if it's now the progesterone that has started building up. So that's my update on 2 DPO. Okay, my bathroom is really loud because the fan is just really loud. So pardon that, and I don't really have a great place to set my phone in here. So, but I just wanted to make sure that I was giving a DPO update. I did not record one yesterday. Yesterday I was 3 DPO. I just really didn't have any symptoms except for like at some point, like right around like 8, 9 o'clock at night, I just had like this really quick, like maybe a minute worth of like this pinch somewhere in my abdominal area. I don't really know if it was like ovaries, fallopian tubes, anything related to the story. I don't know. It might not be anything. But like I did have that. That was really like the only thing I felt yesterday. I guess like still some minor cramping. That's just been consistent since Tuesday. I've just been cramping like every day. Today I definitely had a little bit more cramping than yesterday. And I'm still sure this is all just side effects of the meds. My body is just not used to these meds and this level of hormones, so that's probably all it is. But that was today. The only like weird thing about today is like I had this like sense of nausea. Like it wasn't so bad that I ever gagged, but it was like I was really hungry around like 11 a.m. So I went and I got myself some food, like, and I was really hungry. So then like the fact that as soon as I took a bite, I was just like, I don't actually know if I feel great. But it was like only when I was eating today. Like I wasn't just like sitting there nauseous, and I was never to the point of gagging. It was just like if I ate anything, if I tried to have a snack or anything like that, like as soon as like my mouth closed around any food, I was like, this feels like I don't want to eat, but like I need to eat. So that was the only real thing today. Yeah, I know a lot of people in these talk about like what their cervical mucus looked like on each day of DPO, but like for me, I really don't usually have much CM. Like I usually have it in like the first like 3 days before ovulation, and then like 2-3 days after at the max. I don't really usually have it other times of my cycle. I don't know if that's the PCOS. I don't know if that's the asexuality. I don't know why I don't, but like I don't usually have it. I just obviously took a shower, and I did notice in there that I had some like white creamy discharge. That's like, sorry, it's TMI, but like if you're watching these videos, you're used to it. I did have some of that like white creamy discharge. Not like a lot, but a little bit, but I don't know what that means. So yeah, that's my 4 DPO update, and I will see you tomorrow with more. Good morning. We are 6 DPO today. I didn't record a 5 DPO yesterday. I'm really bad at this. No, it's just I was like just a little lazy and didn't feel like, getting up and putting the camera on and all that. But yesterday I did have some things going on. I'm looking at my notes right here. Vivid dreams, which are not unusual for me. I'm a regular dreamer. I would say I dream 90% of the time anyway, and they're usually pretty vivid. It's not weird for me to have baby dreams. I've been baby dreaming for months. It's not weird for me to have breastfeeding dreams. Been breastfeeding dreams for months. So like none of this really is necessarily a sign or anything. This is just how I am. So, but I still wrote it down, just in case we have no idea. And I just wanted to document everything just to have it to look back on, whether this time is positive or not. I just wanted to have that information. So I had vivid dreams, and it was specifically, it was about breastfeeding. It was that my milk hadn't come in yet, and they wanted me to supplement with formula, but they specifically wanted me to use Similac. And for some reason, I don't know, my subconscious brain was like, I didn't want to supplement at all, but like I knew if I had to, like I didn't want to supplement at all. I wanted to trust my body, that my body would give my child what it needed. But I was like, if I needed to supplement, I wanted Enfamil. I did not want Similac. I don't know why. I don't know why I was so adamant about this. I have not done research into any sort of formulas. It's just the two brands that I know. So I was really upset because I hadn't researched to see what other options there were. So like now I'm like, okay, I know what I'm doing is I'm going to research formula in case the inevitable happens and I can't breastfeed for some reason, or I need to supplement, or I just need to, have that option. I'm going to jump down the formula rabbit hole very soon here and just do all that research because that's who I am as a person. So I will research and I will find a formula that feels comfortable to me to use if I need to. I did have some nausea. It wasn't anything like debilitating. It was just like on and off all day. It was just there. Like I just felt it in my stomach. It was there. It wasn't anything that was stopping me from doing anything. It wasn't stopping me from eating. It was not that bad. It was just, I was aware of it. I did have some constipation last night. So probably around 8, 9 o'clock, I went to the bathroom and I was like, wow, I am constipated. And that's not usual for me. I am Team IBS. Things usually flow right out very easily there. No matter what I put in my mouth, it's just going to go through. That's usually how it is for me. So constipation is very rare unless I've like had a lot of dairy, because that's like my reaction to like lactose is that I usually end up constipated, but I haven't had any dairy. I haven't had any of the usual perpetrators of that. So strange, odd. I had a sensitive nose. Like I was sitting on the couch and I could smell something that was in the hallway. I needed to take like some trash out, and like it's not even that bad. It was like paper towels from cleaning up a mess that were like in an Amazon box by the door. I was like, I'll take it out when I walk the dogs, but I didn't do that yet. I hadn't walked the dogs yet, and I was on the couch and I could smell that, and it's like all the way in the hallway. So I was like, that's a little bit odd. Then I also noticed that whenever there was any pressure on my stomach, I was uncomfortable. Like I was literally like lazy on the couch. I was lazing, like I was like this with my phone scrolling, and like just my arm on my stomach was like uncomfortable. Like I was like, oh, I can't sit like this. That was weird. And I think I'll get into it more on my 6 DPO update. So far, it's only like 11:30. I have my theory on that. And then I also noticed my progesterone was a little bit harder to put in last night. Like usually it's not that bad. As you know, I am aromantic, asexual. I don't have any sort of TMI. I don't usually have any sort of libido or anything like that. I don't do anything down there really with myself. Like it's not something that I have any interest in. I don't have any craving for. So like I'm not down there a whole lot to begin with. I've been down there obviously for the progesterone suppositories, and then really before that it was like when I had a brief period of trying to use the Diva Cup, which did not work for me. It was just uncomfortable. I constantly had pain with that. So that's really like the only times that I've actively tried to put anything there. And with the progesterone, I started that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So 4 days, easy, piece of cake, went right in, no problem. And then yesterday I had a little bit of a difficult time. I don't know if that was just me, like not at the right angle or something, possibly. It just was a little bit trickier. Okay, so now we are up to 6 DPO. Like I said, it's only 11:30. So like I might have other things that happen to me later in the day, but because I've already seen that I cannot be trusted to record these once I am very comfy on the couch at the end of the day playing my games, I wanted to still just get this recorded, and then either if anything crazy happens later today, I will either record again or I will just add it to my 7 DPO update. But regardless, I woke up almost scared because like the cramps that I was feeling or think I was feeling, I'll get into that in a second. Like it was as bad as when my period starts in the middle of the night. And like when my period starts in the middle of the night, I know it's bad because I didn't have enough forewarning to take any pain meds. And I know when I'm feeling that pain, that it's too late to take pain meds. Like if I take pain meds at that point, I'm going to throw up. So I was really scared. Like as soon as my alarm went off, it was just like immediate fear because I thought I was feeling that level of pain. And I was freaking out. I was like, my period is starting. I wasn't even freaking out about my period starting, meaning it was a no this cycle. I was freaking out because my period never starts early, like a day early, a day late. That is usually for me, usually I'm right on the money. When my app says that I'm expected to start my period, it is starting on that day, a day before, a day after. That is my window. There is no a week early, 3 days early, 5 days, none of that. So I was like, we are still a week early. This is insane. This can't be happening. But then, like, I don't know if it was like phantom pain or if it was like, if it actually was real, I don't know. Because like the minute I was like actually awake, like I was still in my half asleep, my alarm just went off, my eyes are barely open stage when I was feeling that. Like I know I had my hand on my stomach because I was like, please no. And like I even like felt down between my legs to see if there was like any blood or anything. Of course there wasn't. So I don't know if it was like phantom pain, but as soon as I was like actually fully awake and sitting up, I felt nothing. I didn't feel any like residual like aftermath of the cramp coming down or anything. Like, so I still don't know if it was a real cramp, if it was imaginary, I don't know what, but that scared me because I was so scared. I'm still not convinced that like the hormones and stuff that I've had to take for this cycle, I'm still not convinced that those won't mess with my cycle somehow and like make it start early, get me off schedule or something. I think it's just because these cramps have been so consistent the whole time since the day before my IUI. I've had these cramps, so I'm like, it's longer than my usual PMS symptoms. So I feel like that's why I'm just like in my head feeling like, oh no, my period's gonna start early this cycle. Like it probably won't. It's probably just the meds and stuff messing with me. I think that's what's going on there. Then I was like noticing, I sat down to work and like, this is how I'm usually sitting. Like it's not even like the best posture, but this is where I'm the most comfortable for the longest time of day. So like I'm sitting back a little bit. My back is pretty straight, but it's not like, I'm not like sitting straight up. I'm like a little bit leaned back. This is how I sit and I work. I was first sitting up like this because I was waiting for my hot cocoa to be done. So I was just sitting like this, just like trying to get some work done while that was working on the Keurig. And I realized like it was really uncomfortable. Like my stomach felt really uncomfortable sitting like this. I'm wondering if that has to do with like the pressure, how like last night I was saying that any pressure on my stomach was uncomfortable. Like I wonder if that's actually bloat and it's just something that I'm not used to. Like I don't really know what bloat is. I've watched all these 2-week weight videos. I've heard people talking about bloating. I don't know if I ever experience bloat normally, like on a day-to-day basis. So I don't really know what to expect with that, but I'm wondering if that's what this is, that's what I'm feeling, because like, at least mentally that makes sense to me. Like bloat would be like a balloon, right? And that's what my stomach feels like right now, is like pressure on it, a balloon, sitting up like this, balloon, like that's what it feels like. So I'm wondering if that's like what the bloat is. Visually, I don't feel like I look bloated, but I'm not like stick thin in general. Like I wouldn't say like I'm overweight or anything, but like I've got a little cushion there. I don't feel like I look bloated, but that doesn't mean that I'm not bloated. Like my body changes throughout the day, like everyone's does. So like, yeah, I'm usually a little bit flatter in the morning before I've eaten anything, but like I don't spend enough time looking at my body in the mirror to know like, is this what my body usually looks like at 9 a.m. or is this what my body looks like at 8 p.m. but so that doesn't look weird because I'm looking at it at 9 a.m. Like I don't know. Like I'm just gonna assume, I'm gonna write down as bloat. But yeah, that is my 6 DPO update so far. We are officially at the point where science says implantation can begin today. Up until this point, I've been very logical. I've been, none of this can be pregnancy symptoms. So this is all the meds, it's the progesterone. And now we're at that point where it's like, I will probably still try to logic my way out of everything that I feel for the next couple days. But we're at the point where logic might not be the answer anymore. Like the things I feel from this point on might actually be symptoms. So like, I'm not symptom spotting still. I'm still a very rational person. I need an explanation for this. I hated Alice in Wonderland growing up because it was not rational. It was not logical, made no sense to me. So that's kind of how I'm approaching this, is I'm just documenting what I feel, just so I know, just so if I have to go through any more cycles, I know if next cycle was different than this one. That's what I'm documenting right now, not symptom spotting. But we're starting to get into that point where I'm like, it's the fear of the unknown. I know that for the next week, I will try to explain everything away with logic and reasoning. I might not have logic and reasoning to explain it away. We're staying positive, we're hopeful, I'm excited. I'm not gonna test early. I told my friends, I asked my friends if I should test early. I decided not to because the day that I get the test is their birthday. It's 2 of my friends' birthdays. Different friends, they're not twins or anything, they just literally have the same birthday. The day that my doctor told me to test is their birthday. So, and then I was like, I tried to argue and I was like, I don't want to test on your birthday. It's like, your birthday is about you, it's not about me. Like, I don't want to take a test. Whether it's positive or negative, I don't want that to impact your day. But they were so supportive, and I love my friends so much because, like, the friends that I had before I started this process were so anti me talking about this at all. Like, they did not want me to talk about my process at all. They're not kid people, that's fine. But they were just like, we don't want to hear about it. And I'm like, that's kind of discouraging. Like, this is a big thing for me. And I don't want to, like, never shut up about it, but I still want to be able to, like, say, hey, this is what's going on in my life. And the friends that I have now are so supportive. It's amazing. So literally when I was like asking them, I was like, should I test early? Should I wait? They were like, wait. And I was like, but it's your birthday and I don't want it to be about me. It's your day. And they were like, but what if we want to share our birthday with you? They were saying, like, they get a birthday every year. I only get to experience this. I don't get to experience this every year, or hopefully I don't get to experience this every year. So they really encouraged me to wait. So I just feel like it'll be special if I can hold out and wait until the 13th. I feel like that'll be special. I'll be able to share that with my friends. And so I'm not gonna test early. I'm not gonna test a day early. I will wait for that. My period is expected to start on the 14th, obviously. And like I said before, I don't fluctuate. It does not come early. It does not come late. It comes on that day. Like, I could come a day early. 13 should be a good day. Their birthday will be 13 DPO. That'll be a good day to test. I'm excited. This one was a long one. 6 DPO was a long one. I'm sorry. I just wanted to get all of those thoughts out. Hopefully not all of them will be this long. Okay, it is 8 DPO. I wanted to give a quick update. I skipped yesterday just because we're at that point where, like, all my symptoms have stopped. Like, all the things that I was mentioning in the first week, which is just reiterating that it was just the meds, it's all stopped pretty much. Yesterday, 7 DPO, I did have a really bad nightmare that woke me up at like 4 a.m. and then I could not go back to sleep. Like, it wasn't anything baby related. It was honestly, like, my nightmare was like one of my internet accounts got hacked, and by that getting hacked, whoever it was, they had access to everything, like locked me out of everything on my phone, and I couldn't communicate with my friends or family or anything. Like, that was my nightmare. Is that, like, I could not contact anyone. And so, but it was so vivid and so bold. Like, it woke me up at like 4 a.m. I laid there for like an hour, like literally unable to go back to sleep. I drifted off again briefly, but like went right back into the same dream. And then after that, I just woke myself up and was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this. So I was just like tired yesterday, but it's because of that. And that was really the only thing I experienced yesterday. And then today I really haven't experienced much of anything. Like, right now I have a little bit of like discomfort. It's not nausea, it's not bloat, but it's like I feel really full right now. Like, I feel like that uncomfortably full. Like, it was Thanksgiving a few weeks ago. You know, when you eat all of the things and you are uncomfortably full, I feel like that. But I haven't eaten anything. Like, it's 8:45 right now. The last thing I ate was some chicken nuggets and pierogies at like 3. So like, I haven't eaten that recently for me to be feeling like this, but like, that's what I feel right now. Like, I don't feel nauseous, I don't feel bloated, I just feel full. And so that's all I really have for 8 DPO. We'll see. We're like at that point where it's like, yes, it's validating. It's telling me that all those things that I said were just symptoms of the medication were just symptoms of the medication. But now I'm like, oh, everything stopped. That means it can't be anything. That's not a good thing. Like, I should be feeling things, but I've, like everyone, I've poured through all the Reddit threads, all the Facebook threads. Hi, kiddos. I poured through all of it and have gotten all of my reassurance. Cow. Anyway, I've gotten all the reassurance from people that are just like, I had no symptoms, I had 0 symptoms at all, and I still got a positive. So like, I've been through all those threads recently, and it's also only 8 DPO. I know it's still early. I know realistically I wouldn't feel anything right now, but I'm just kind of like, I felt so much in that first week from the meds. I was like, I will for sure feel symptoms as soon as that zygote implants. Like, I'm gonna feel it. And I haven't felt it, anything, but that's okay. It's a good thing. It's positive. We are still in the running here. 8 DPO. We will catch you either 9 DPO if I have anything, or I'll do the same thing where I've been doing like these every other day updates, and we'll update on 10 DPO. Okay, we are 10 DPO today, and we're gonna take a test. It's 11 o'clock. It's like 11:15. I peed in a jar earlier because like I needed to pee as soon as I woke up, obviously. And my hair looked like Bellatrix if she stuck a fork in an outlet, so I was not gonna hit record while I was doing that. I am trying to be super raw, super natural, not do like all hair and makeup before I film these, because if I do that, I will just never record anything. That I was not hitting record on that. That was where I drew the limit. So I did pee in a jar. I have like one of the little cups from my clinic, like when you do you leave a sample there. I have one of those, so I did put the lid on it, so it's as fresh, uncontaminated as it can be. We're gonna take the test. I know I said I was gonna wait, but I wanna know. So we'll see. I'm not, like, if it's negative, I'm not going to be terribly upset about that. We're just doing one of the strip ones. I do have the clear blue digitals. I do have those. But I'm not gonna use those until I get either a positive on one of these strip ones, or Tuesday. If Tuesday is when I'm supposed to take my test, it's Saturday right now, so like I might use one Tuesday. All right, so here we go. We're just gonna dip it until the dye starts to rise. I always feel like it's not enough. Like I know it literally says just until the dye starts to rise, but I feel like that's not enough. That's not enough. All right, put it back in the wrapper, and now we wait. Yeah, so like I wasn't going to test, like I mentioned, I think I mentioned it in one of my previous DPO updates, that I was gonna wait because Tuesday is the day that I can test, and my friend's birthday. 2 of my friends have the same birthday, and it's Tuesday, so it was like perfect timing with that all lining up. And I was like, at first I was concerned about taking the test on their birthday because I didn't want it to be about me. It's like, that's their day. But they really convinced me to wait and test on their birthday. They were fine with it. Why is this like one little cowlick going on here? Anyway, they convinced me that it was fine, but the more I thought about it, the more I was like, if I get a negative on that test without any like mental preparation for that, I'm gonna be a downer on their birthday. I don't want to be a downer on their birthday. Like at least today, if it's negative, I have time to like mentally prepare that maybe this one didn't work, so that I have the next couple days to mentally prepare for that. That way, if it's negative still on Tuesday, I can be a little bit more there for them rather than it being about me. But if it's positive, then I still need to test over the next couple of days because I need to make sure it's not a chemical pregnancy, right? Like that's I'm just trying to make excuses here. Yeah, so we are gonna wait. I'm not gonna check it. We're just gonna sit here and play. This is Keija. I don't think you guys have seen him yet. He's a very sleepy boy this morning. I don't think you guys have seen him, but this is Keija. He's usually the one squeaking the toys or banging the bones in the background of my videos. Callie is over here chilling. This is Callie. She is never squeaking toys. She plays with the ball, and that's like it. The ball and the frisbee, and that's all she does. Yeah, but they are the culprits making all the noise in the video. Then Kogu is the cat. He is over there. We do have our hands full over here. So I didn't look at the timer when I took the test. I think it was probably around 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, and we're at 4 minutes now, so we'll give it another minute. And yeah, it's been a slow morning over here. Oh, my 9 DPO update, I can do that. 9 DPO, at 9 DPO, I had earlier in the morning, like around 9, 10 a.m., I had like this really intense pinching, but it was too high. It was like right here. It was like right here. So like, I know that's not implantation or anything, but I was literally making the joke. I was like, anytime my body like twinges today, it's implantation. But I know that was probably not related to that at all. I'm sorry, Bean. Am I bothering you? I'm sorry. Okay. I did have that. And then I had a team meeting around like 11 a.m. and I was honestly so nauseous that it was taking all of my focus to not like gag on the camera, because I obviously don't want anyone to know right now. So I was just sitting there I was just trying to focus on keeping as true to the face as possible through the whole meeting, because it was so overwhelming at that point. It did go away, and then later There's Kovu's butt. Hi, Kove. And then later I did have like a little pinching like right below my navel, which that one might be real. But I wasn't going to overthink that either. Then I was, after work, I usually am playing my games or something. And I was doing that. I was playing Overwatch. And it was probably like around 9 o'clock that like the nausea came back so bad that I decided to turn off the game and come in here and lay down. And I was out by 11. So like it was bad. And that's not like a normal PMS symptom for me. Like that's not something I normally experience. So that was a little strange. And now I feel like it's been enough time. We can check the test. I'm nervous. There's a line. I don't know if it's gonna, I honestly did not expect it. I was expecting a negative. I don't know if you can even see, I was expecting a negative. I thought it was too early. I was gonna get a negative and I was just gonna have to wait until that's a line. That's a line. Okay. I did not test out my trigger though. I know it's 10 DPO. I did not test out my trigger, but that should be gone by now. That's obviously a very thin line. Oh my God. That's a very like light line. So I will test over the next few days, but that's a positive. That's a positive. Oh my God. Okay, yeah, we're gonna test over the next few days. We want that line to get darker. I'm pregnant. I stopped the video, but I just sat here in silence for a few seconds, and now I'm just like, I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done this because I don't want to tell anyone yet. I want to tell people on Tuesday. I was going to tell like my mom, my friends, obviously the closest friends, like my best friends, and they already know that I'm through this process. But I don't want to tell them until oh my God. I'll tell, I'm in a Discord group of other single moms by choice. I will tell them, and that will get it out of my system, and then I will hold it. I will not tell anyone else until that line is darker. That's what we're gonna do. Oh wait. All right. We will do line progression tests as well, but I'll show you over the next few days. We will still do recording all the way up to 40. Oh my gosh. I can't believe this. Like, oh my gosh. I really expected it to be negative. Okay, let me be the warning not to test early because I'm getting ready right now to go to Target. I need to get cat litter, but I also need to pick up more tests because I only have 2 more of these little cheapies. And because I tested early and I got myself all freaked out, this was my test that I showed you guys yesterday on the camera. So I know it's late now, but like you saw it yesterday, you saw how dark it was fresh. It's significantly, it's pretty dark there. Like it's not significantly dark, but it's pretty dark there. And then I tested it again. It's 11 DPO right now. So I tested it again last night and it was a little bit lighter. I think that is because as soon as, like, I'm really bad about drinking water. Like I'm terrible about it, honestly. So the first test that I took, I didn't drink water the day before. Like I might have had a glass of apple juice. I had a smoothie. I had some cereal with milk. So that was pretty much my water intake for the day, were those things. So that's probably why that test was so strong. As soon as I got that positive, I like chugged water. It was like my resolution was to start drinking water. So that's what I was using as my explanation for why this 10 DPO PM test was so light. But then this morning, I couldn't sleep. I don't think it was like pregnancy insomnia. I think it was like I went to sleep around 12:30 and I woke up at like 5:30 for some reason. I don't know if like the dogs were doing something, if the cat was doing something, whatever. I woke up around like 5:30 and that was enough time for my body to say, okay, we're awake now. And I just could not go back to sleep. I sat there, no lie, until like 7 a.m. trying to go back to sleep. It did not work. And then, so I did come in and pee. And like you can see on that camera, like you can barely see the line. I can see the line. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up. We've got the 10 DPO PM and then we've got the 11 DPO AM. Let's try to see if we can get that. It's very, very faint. So when I saw that, I freaked out a little bit and I went and I got one of my digitals. I did not want to use my digitals yet. I wanted to wait and to use my digitals on Tuesday. But I freaked out. I went and took the digital. Digital says not pregnant. So that was discouraging, very concerning. So then I was like, I went and I distracted myself. I went to read. I went to play some games, and then like an hour ago maybe, I had to pee again, and I've been sipping my water, but I haven't been taking it terribly. I took another test, and I do still have a line. And honestly, that line looks a little bit darker than this morning. It is a little bit darker than this morning. So, like, that 10 DPO, I don't know if that was still the trigger shot or what, but I was kind of discouraged when the digital came back negative. But the fact that I'm still seeing a line, and the digital I did around 10 a.m. So that first 11 DPO was around 7 a.m. And then when I actually, like, I did go back to sleep after that. And then I woke up around like 10, and that's when I did the digital, and it said now pregnant. So then 3 hours later is when I did this test, and this one does have a line. I did see a line when it was fresh too. Like, it's been like an hour. I know you're not supposed to read it after that. I saw the line when it was fresh. It might be a little bit darker now. I'm not sure. I didn't actually compare it to the other one. I should have compared it to the other one. Either way, I'm all in my head now. I'm all freaking out that I haven't, like, fully tested out the trigger. Like, I looked it up, and everyone says that their trigger was completely gone by like 7-8 DPO. So I thought I was safe, but I might not be safe. And so don't test early. Don't test early, or if you're going to test early, test out the trigger. I decided not to test out the trigger because I was supposed to wait until Tuesday, and then I didn't wait until Tuesday, and then I didn't test out the trigger, and now I have no idea if these are real positives or not. Like, they still feel like real positives to me because, again, I still don't have any PMS symptoms. My period should start on Wednesday. It is Sunday. I should have PMS symptoms by now, and also I've just been so nauseous. Like, this is 3 days in a row of the constant nausea. I had some before that, but I chalked that up to the meds. But it's been the constant nausea now, and it's like all day today it's been like the nausea, but at the same time I've been like just so hungry. So it's like I'm hungry, but I'm nauseous, but I'm hungry. So I've just been like snacking. I've been eating like cashews, and I had some Cheez-Its. That's like been what I've been doing to try to circumvent the nausea yet hunger. So yeah, I need to run to Target for some cat litter, and I might grab some things for like smoothies and such, but I'm going to Sam's Club with my mom on Wednesday, and that's when I want to get like the real smoothie stuff, but I might need some like eggs and stuff before then. So I might grab that at Target. So I'm going to grab a couple things there. I haven't decided yet. Everyone's saying like if you wrap a baby blanket and you put it under the Christmas tree that you'll have a baby next year. So I know it's just a wives' tale. But I'm like, anything at this point to inspire hope, I might do that. And then yeah, we'll come back here after that. But that is my 11 DPO update. That's what that is. I don't really have any other symptoms right now other than like the nausea. I did have some more of that. I don't know if I said this in yesterday's update or not, but I don't think so because I think it was last night. There was I had more of that like pinching feeling in my lower abdomen. So that same feeling that I've had for the past couple days, that I'm like, that could be implantation. And I know implantation cramping can last several days, so I don't know if that's off of it. I don't know. We're just all in our head right now, so I'm just gonna go get some more tests to make myself feel better. I'm not gonna get too many because I do have those 2 that I was gonna save for tomorrow. Like, I've already done my 2 tests per se. I'm trying to keep it at 2 tests a day, AM and PM. So I have the 2 for tomorrow, but I don't want to leave it to just, that would mean I have the 2 cheapies and I have 2 more of the digitals. So technically I have enough to get me through to Tuesday, but I just want to get a couple of first response to also take on Tuesday. So that way, if the digitals are still playing me, like I have others. But yeah, that is the update. Hello, it is 13 DPO today, and I don't really have an answer. My tests are, I think I recorded it. I don't remember if I recorded it or not. I've been back and forth on if I even wanted to bother posting this video or like posting the previous clip where I was all excited about my 10 DPO positive. I debated if I even wanted to post that because at this point I'm worried that it was a false positive. I want to share, and I want to make sure that I'm sharing with you guys the highs and the lows of this process, because it's not always going to be good news. It's not always going to be bad news. I'm not out 100%. So just in case I didn't record it, I'm sorry, my brain's been all over the place with these tests. In case I didn't record it, I think I did my line progression, but 11 DPO, I had a positive on the strip test, and then I had a negative on the clear blue digital. I took another one 11, I took another strip test 11 DPO PM, and that one was still positive. It was higher than my AM one. And then 12 DPO AM, I took another strip test. Still got a positive on the strip test. It was lighter than the 11 DPO PM. And then my first response, early response, was negative. I did not test last night. I only had one strip test left, and I wanted to save it for today since that was the only one that I was getting positives on. And again, I did take my test this morning. My strip test has the faintest, barely there line where I think I'm hallucinating it, honestly. But like, it's there. I keep checking it. I keep checking the photo that I took, and like, it's there. It's obviously there, but it's so faint. It's the faintest test I've had so far. And again, the first response, early response, was negative. So I called my clinic, and I have to go in this afternoon for blood work to confirm either way. So I won't have an answer probably today. I probably have an answer tomorrow. Either way, my period's expected tomorrow. I still don't have any period symptoms, any of like my usual pre-period symptoms. This morning, I started to have a very, very little bit of like that. I get like some like lower abdomen, like grumblies. Like, I don't know a scientific way to explain. I get some like grumblies that are like usually a first warning sign for me, but that's usually like days before. That's usually like 5-6 days before my period starts that I start getting that feeling. I did have that this morning. That's the only thing that I have that can even indicate my period is coming, and that's so rare for me. Like, I usually am suffering for a week before. Oh, I'm pre-suffering for a week before I suffer from my period for a week. That's usually how it goes for me. So it's so odd that I only have. That's the only sign that I have. And I've been back and forth. Like, I kind of even said in the Discord group that I'm in, I even mentioned that, like, let me be a warning against testing early, but I don't think so. I don't think that's even the stance that I want to take, because I don't regret testing early. If I wouldn't have tested early, if I would have waited until today and I didn't have any of that data, I would have seen that positive line and thought we were in the clear. We're good. I see that positive line. Yes, one test is negative, but it only takes a positive. I would have seen that positive and I would have been like, yay, I'm pregnant. Like, there is no doubt about it. I waited until I was told to take my test and it's positive, so therefore it must be positive. I am glad that I tested early because I have that data to see that my line got lighter, so it's probably still my trigger shot. It's rare. I've seen so many people who say that their trigger is out by like 8 DPO at the very latest, but then as I dug a little deeper, I did see some people where like it took the full 14 days for me to test out my trigger. So I'm afraid that that's what's happening to me, but I wouldn't have known that if I didn't test early. I would have just waited my time like my doctor told me to. I have the email that says my doctor told me not to test until today. If I would have just gotten that positive today, I think I would have been more disappointed. Like, at least now I've had a couple days to like build myself up to that. But if I would have taken that test today and got my positive, then gone in for my blood work, and then they tell me it's negative, that would have been like gut wrenching to me. So like, I don't regret testing early. I would test early again next time, but next time I probably would do the full test out my trigger. I would test from 1 DPO on, because I did get my hopes up. And it's like, that's the other thing, is I believe in mentality. I believe that the mentality impacts a lot of it. So like, I want to be positive. I want to have that mindset. I want to say that, you know, as soon as I have that IUI, I am pregnant, and live my life as if that is the truth, because that helps. I do believe that helps, but it's also, it sets you up for so much disappointment. Like, there's no way to avoid the disappointment. It's either you have to be somewhat negative during that 2-week wait and be like, it might not have worked, and invite that negative energy in, or you have to be extremely positive, shut the door on negativity, make it so that it's not even a possible thought to come to cross your mind, but then you face the disappointment, and there's no way to avoid it. And that's what kind of makes this like such a roller coaster. So we'll see what my blood work says. If it is like, I still don't want to invite the negativity, but I just want to think rationality, because it is getting close to the end of the year, and Seattle Sperm Bank did announce that they are increasing their prices significantly next year. So I think if it is a negative, I will order another vial of my donor while the prices are still low, so within the next week or so, and then just have them hold it for a month. I'm not, if it is negative, I'm not going to do my next cycle. So my next cycle would be like, my next IUI would be in 2 weeks, basically. I would not be doing that because that would be like, my expected ovulation date is like literally like New Year's Day or the day after or something like that. And I don't think the office will be open. But also just financially, I want to have a little bit more cushion. Obviously, I used a lot of that cushion on this cycle. I would just like to get another little bit of, I would like to get a little bit more of a cushion built up. So just one more pay cycle. So I would skip this cycle and then we wouldn't try again until that first week of February. So that's where we're at right now if it's negative, but I'm still holding out hope that it's positive. I still have that positive line on that test. And honestly, everything is riding on that positive line. I'm hoping that it's positive. I'm hoping that it's positive, that for some reason my HCG levels are just low, and that when I go in for this blood work, it'll say that yes, and I implanted late or something. Like that's just what I'm hoping for at this point. I won't know for a little while, but I did want to make sure that I was clear that I will still post this video. I'm sorry for the ups and downs. I'm sorry for how excited I was on that 10 DPO if it was giving you hope to come back with some bad news. I know that's not always fun to watch, but I did want to, you know, share the journey because it's not always going to be positive. It's not always going to be negative. So I wanted to share the reality of it. I didn't want it to just be, I don't want it to be falsified. I wanted to make sure that I was honest with you guys. And that way, if you're going through the same thing, if you get the same kind of test as me, then you know what to expect or like what not to expect, or you know that there's still hope. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. That's what's getting me through it. So I will update again when I have either positive or negative news. Excuse my hair. It's been a day, as you know. It's the same day. It's still 12 DPO. I did go in for my blood work at 1 p.m. It's 3:30 now. My doctor called me like 30 minutes ago and she said, I am pregnant. So we weren't wrong. I am pregnant, but my HCG is very low. It's at an 8. She said the blood test will show anything above a 5 as pregnant because technically, yes, I am pregnant, but it's very low. It's lower than she would like to see right now. So it means either I implanted very late and it's still too early to test, or I'm experiencing a chemical pregnancy. So I do have a follow-up blood work on Thursday at 8 a.m. I'm gonna go in there and get that blood work done, and hopefully we'll see that number go up. We wanna see it rise. We wanna see a much higher number than 8. And then if so, I'm pregnant, and if not, then I had a chemical, which is discouraging, but it does mean that my body knows what to do and that we can move forward. I do think I have to skip a cycle just financially. Like I could swing it. I could go right into this next cycle and do another one, but it would just interfere with some plans that I have for like my family. Like I was planning on taking my brother to Universal for his birthday. He's a New Year's baby, so I was planning on taking him to Universal that weekend after his birthday. I probably wouldn't be able to go on the rides. I knew that, but I was planning on taking him and his girlfriend, just have some family time. And if I do proceed with this cycle, it would like really make finances a little bit of a crunch, and I wouldn't be able to do that. So I think and also just with the timing, like if that's the case, then like my ovulation day is like either January 1st or January 2nd. And like, I just don't even want to deal with the stress of trying to like inseminate on a holiday when the clinic isn't open. So I think I'm just gonna skip a cycle. If that's the case, I'm gonna skip a cycle and just try again in February. But I'm still holding out hope. I've been spending the past 30 minutes Googling everything. I've been going through the Facebook group just to see anyone's positives, anyone who's had the same thing where they got that blood work and it was just low. And so it's a mix. It's 50-50. It's people who said, yeah, it ended in a chemical, and yeah, it doubled. So I was able to proceed with my pregnancy, carried full term. So it's like, I just really don't know for 2 more days. So yeah, I still don't regret testing early. That is what's making me lean more towards the fact that it's probably chemical, because I did have those darker lines than what I had today. I'm at the point where I'm hoping that was still the trigger shot. I'm hoping that was still the trigger that was giving me the darker lines, and that today's positive was actually like my real positive, and then it goes up from here. That's where I'm at mindset wise. We'll see in 2 days, but that's my update. I know I haven't really been doing symptoms in the past couple days because I've been so worried about these tests. So as far as symptoms go, I really haven't had too too much different. It's been that constant nausea. It's Tuesday today. I've been nauseous since Friday. And it comes and goes in waves. It's not like a constant thing. It's like comes and goes in waves. Last night was another one where I got so nauseous I had to get off the computer and just go lay down. I did have, and I still have it right now, that cramping, this, like I mentioned in my update earlier today. I had that cramping when I woke up, and I have it again now, that one that feels like my period's coming, but I'm trying not to think of it as period because I also know that that can be very symptomatic of early pregnancy as well. So maybe it was just that I implanted late. Like maybe I didn't implant until like day 12, 13. I don't know, but obviously I don't know and I can never have that answer. But I'm just kind of watching it right now, and every time I go to the bathroom and I wipe and I don't see blood, I'm counting it a victory basically. So that's where we're at. I don't really have, right now I have a little bit of a headache, but that's probably just because I've been all over the place. I wouldn't say like I don't feel like I'm stressed today, but I know that I've just been all over the place emotionally, so that's probably contributing to the headache. I'm trying to like drink my water. I got myself a smoothie treat on the way back from the doctor's. We're just staying hopeful, but it might not be this cycle, and that's okay. So now we're in the reality brain where we're hoping for the best but planning for the worst, so that way we can just move on and process. It'll be a downer, of course, if it is a no, but on the plus side, my body knows what to do. My body knows what to do. We can do this. And then it's just a matter of waiting a month and a half. I don't even want to say 2 months because it's 2 weeks away from when I could try, but I'm purposely skipping one. So it's a month and a half away before I can try again. That's where I'm at as my worst case scenario. My best case scenario is that all this stress was just baby giving me a little bit of a test, just trying to make sure I was paying attention, and I will meet them in August. That is where we're at. Okay, now that it is confirmed that it is a chemical pregnancy, I just wanted to show the line progression before the test got too old and the lines got too crazy. But yeah, so this is what we've got, and I'm sorry for the pet fur. Like literally, it doesn't matter how quickly I do things, pet fur ends up everywhere. So yeah, this is my line progression. And this is pretty accurate to what I saw like in live results. So we have 10 DPO, that's that video that I recorded, that was that first positive, and it's probably the strongest line. I don't know, it might be pretty comparable to 11 DPO PM, but like it was definitely the strongest line. And then 10 DPO PM, it was slightly lighter, but not enough for me to be concerned. I was like, as soon as I got that positive test, I drank so much water, guys. Like I don't usually drink water at all. So this 10 DPO AM was that I did not drink any water, like literally at all, the day before or anything like that. And then as soon as I got that positive test, I went into, oh, I need to be a good mom now, and drank some water. So I was not concerned about this test being lighter, but I was concerned about this 11 DPO AM being lighter. Again, it got darker again at 11 DPO PM. So I was like, maybe that's still the water. I avoided drinking too much water because this one did concern me because it was lighter. I did avoid drinking too much water that day so that my PM one would be strong and not diluted. So I don't know, I was just all over the place, obviously. But then by 12 DPO, it was significantly lighter, and this is where I started getting really concerned because I know what lighter lines mean. I know what that indicates. And then 13 DPO is the day that I was supposed to test by my doctor. You can't really see it on the video, and it did sort of fade over time. When the test was fresh though, there was the faintest line. Like it's still there a little bit, you can kind of see it right there. But there was the faintest line on 13 DPO. That's when I told my doctor, hey, I did get a slight positive on one test, but I did get a negative on the first response, early response. So she had me come in for my blood draw, and that's where they found out that my HCG was at 8. And if you watch any of these other videos of chemical pregnancies, or anyone who has low HCG, they're like, my HCG was low and it was like 100, it was like 500, and I'm like, mine was 8. So that was really discouraging, and they scheduled me to come back 2 days, so like on 15 DPO, come back in 2 days and get it retested. But on the 14th, I honestly don't think there was a line there. Like when I took it, and I have the photo of the test fresh, I don't think there was a line there. I do eventually see a line that like a shadow that popped up after the test got too low. Like it's very, very faint. You can kind of see it right there. Like it's so faint. But at that point, like my hopes were just gone. Like I was like, I know what's happening. but I still showed up for my blood work on 15 DPO, and I got my results yesterday. Yesterday was 15 DPO, it's 16 DPO today. I got my results within a couple hours, and my HCG was 4. So at that point, it's confirmed that I'm having a chemical pregnancy. I did not bother testing on 15. I did not bother testing today. I know what it's gonna say. And I'm not bleeding yet. It's 16 DPO. I'm not bleeding yet, but I'm just like kind of in that waiting game of just like, I know what's gonna happen, and that's just what we're waiting for right now. But yeah, I wanted to show that line progression in case anyone else has anything similar. That's how quick it happens. 4 days and the line will disappear. At least for me, that's how it happens. So we move on, we try next cycle. Yeah. And I look like a mess. I'm sorry, I look like a mess, but obviously I'm going through it right now. I'm trying to just stay ahead of my mental health and not let it get to me. I have not properly processed anything. I have not properly grieved. I haven't cried. I haven't done anything. I've just been very focused moving forward. But that means that I am kind of slacking on my own personal care. I need to I'm just trying to stay above water right now is basically where I'm at. So doing what I need to stay above water. But I just wanted to quickly also say that I really do like those first response tests. They're the only ones that gave me a positive. You guys know on 11 DPO, I took a clear blue digital, and I took the first response, early response on 12 and 13 DPO. And all 3 of those were negative. The early at homes, the test strips are supposed to not tell you it's a positive unless it's over 25. I never was over 25, or I mean, I might have been over 25 on 10 DPO, but I was not over 20. On 13 DPO, I was not over 25, obviously, but I still got a faint positive on there. So I think that's just like their disclaimer, is that they don't claim that it'll be positive for anything less than 25. First response, early response, and clear blue digital are supposed to be more sensitive than that. I think clear blue digital is supposed to be anything above 10, and early response is supposed to be anything above 6.5. You have to be above 5 to be considered pregnant. So I don't know why those ones weren't considering me positive. Clear blue digital makes sense, but the early response should have had me positive on those days because I was above that 6%. I don't know. They didn't work. But those first response, or those easy at home test strips, they did give me that positive. I got 4 days of positives with that, and they were not supposed to tell me above 25. I'm not mad about it. I'm happy about that, because if they never would have told me positives, if I had only done the first response, early response, I would have never gotten a positive. I would have just been sitting here not knowing. I mean, I probably would have had to go in for a beta anyway. No, because if I was testing negative, my doctor told me not to even bother coming in for a beta. So like, I would just never known. I would have never known that I was positive. So shout out to the early at home test strips. I highly recommend them. I will use them every time because those are the only ones that I got a positive on. And I respect that positive. I'm glad I had the positive so that I know.